Did you know that over 90% of web pages online get no organic traffic from Google? This means without proper SEO, your site is virtually invisible. It also means there's a lot of room for improvement. I know SEO can feel really scary and intimidating and complicated, but it doesn't have to be, and that's what I want to prove to you in this video. In this video, we're going to dive into how to write your SEO site description, how to optimize all your pages for SEO and search, and I'm going to show you how to analyze and run an SEO report on your own website. I'm also going to run a test on my website in real time, go in and make edits, and show you just how easy it is to improve your SEO score with just a few minutes and a few strategies. So if you're ready, let's dive in. If you didn't know, this is part 2 of my 7 Days to Website Success series, where I'm walking you through simple, actionable strategies to turn your website into a powerhouse for your brand or business. I also have a workbook that goes with this, so if you haven't already downloaded this, printed it out, get to that. It's at katherineforbes.com/7days, totally free. SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization, and it's basically the process of improving your website so that when people search for things related to your brand or business, you have the chance of showing up higher in those search results. I've said it before and I'll say it again, if you want to rank in a Google search or whatever search engine is your favorite, you need to speak Google's language, and Google's language is SEO. So that's why our first step in this video is to write your SEO description. You know, when you do that Google search, you come up with websites and they all have, of course, the title that you can click on to go to the website, but right under that title you will find the SEO site description. And it's basically just a sentence or two that explains what the website is about. That is what we're going to start off by writing today. And what I want you to know is that your SEO site description isn't just for Google. We also want to write it for the people reading it. We want them to know that, yes, this is what they want to click on, and we want to make it user-friendly and inviting, invite them to come into your website. And to do this, I have a really simple 3-part process to create this. You're going to include who you are, what you do, and why it matters. And lucky for you, I've created a Mad Lib style template to help you write this SEO site description. I know I make it sound easy, it's just 3 parts, but I know once you start putting pen to paper, it's but what am I supposed to say? So I'm going to help you with that. And again, it's in this workbook. I'll put it up on the screen, but get that workbook so you can work it out on your own. But the 3 things that you need to include, you're going to start off with your brand name. You're going to include your main keyword phrase, and if you have room, some sort of call to action. So for example, my Designing the Row website's SEO site description says, elevate your online presence with Designing the Row's professional Squarespace website design services. Let's collaborate to bring your vision to life online. So like I've said, I've got my brand name, Designing the Row, in there. My main keyword phrase could be professional Squarespace website design services or Squarespace website design services. And then the call to action is, let's collaborate. One more little note for you, if you are a local type business, you will also want to include your location in there. A lot of times I will work with them on a website and then they will come to me later my website's not ranking for whatever city, whatever they do. And I go back to them and say, well, that's because we didn't include the city name anywhere on your website. So again, Google can't read your mind. You have to tell it what you want to rank for. So that is exactly where we're going to start with this SEO site description. Workshop yours a little bit in the workbook. And then I want you to go use this tool that I love using to test. I test every SEO site description that I write with it. It's SEObility.net. It's their snippet generator tool. You type it in and you can see when you're too short, it's yellow. When you're the perfect length, it'll be green. And when you've gone too long, it'll turn red. So go use that tool after you've written out what you want to write, and then you can adjust the length. You want to be somewhere between 150, 160 characters. I personally use Squarespace to design websites, and on Squarespace you can actually put more into the SEO site description box in the back end than 150 or 60 characters. So just because your website allows you to include more doesn't mean it's a good thing. It's going to just get all cut off. So if you have that call to action on the end, but it's over 160 characters, people aren't going to be able to read it. So we want to make it just the perfect length so that it says everything you want it to say and so that everybody can read it. Remember that stat I shared at the beginning of the video about how 90% of web pages don't rank organically or get organic traffic from Google? I want to elaborate on that a little bit, because that means every page on your website has the chance to rank and rank individually. But to do that, you have to optimize each page. And when I say that, I want you to think of each page individually. We're not going to rank every page on your site for the exact same thing. So for example, when I was talking about my Designing the Row business, maybe on my homepage it says Professional Squarespace Website Design Services, but I'm not going to use that on every single page everywhere across my website, because that will confuse Google. We want to use an individual keyword phrase for each page of our website. And something I want to note about keywords: when I say keywords, I don't want you to think like, okay, I, for example, am a guitar player, so I want to rank for the word guitar. Guitar is a very broad term, and you're going to have way too much competition to ever rank for just one word keyword, guitar. So you need to think of something more specific to who you are and what you do. So maybe it's like Nashville Bluegrass Guitar, something so much more specific that if somebody searches it, they're going to find you. So just know that when I say keyword, I don't mean one word, I mean a keyword phrase, or what we like to refer to as a long tail keyword. So with that in mind, if you want to go ahead, again, in the workbook, if you want to go ahead and list out all the pages on your website and pick a keyword for each, you can do that. I've got room in the workbook for you to work on your top 3 pages. Start small, and over time you can build out this strategy to optimize every page on your site, but I don't want you to get overwhelmed. So maybe pick your top 3 visited pages and pick out a long tail keyword for each of those pages. And then I'm going to give you some step-by-step ways to optimize each of those after you've picked out your keyword. The first thing that we can do is optimize the title of our page. So you most likely have titles that are like home, about, services, contact. These are great, but again, they're one word. What we want to do is get them up to about 60 characters. I know this sounds like a lot when you're thinking about an about page, but in the title of the page, when you're setting up your website, you can say, for example, like about Designing the Row website services, or about whatever it is. You don't have to have that in the navigation of your site. You can set 2 different things for that, but the actual title of your page needs to be about 60 characters, and you're going to want to include that main keyword phrase as well as the page title, like about. The next thing we're going to do is very similar, which is to create that header 1 on your page. Something else that I say a lot, I can spot a DIY website from a mile away when I see a million header 1s on the page. Each page should only have 1 header 1. This is the way of telling Google, this is what's the most important title and text on my page. This should also be under 60 characters, and it should be very specific, very clear, and include your keyword phrase. So in your header 1, you don't want to be very vague and artsy and creative. You want to get right down to business and use your header 1 to be very clear and get that keyword in there. The next thing you can do is write a meta description for every page of your website. When you write the one for your overall website that we worked on in step 1, that will apply to your homepage and any page that doesn't have one written specifically for it. But, for example, if we're going to work on your About page, you can write a meta description specifically for your About page. You can use the exact same Mad Libs formula I gave you in step 1, and that's going to be your next step to optimize your page for search. The final tip I have for you on optimizing each page is to use alt tags for your images. So think about images the same way that you think about just a Google search for a website. You know, when you click over to that images tab and you can see all the images that come up in search as well? Well, if your images are uploaded and they still have the file name like img1234, Google is not going to know what that image is about. So when you are creating your web pages, you need to include that optional image alt tag and describe what your images are about. This is another great way to get in some keywords and really describe what all your images are about to communicate to Google, this is what my page is about, and these are the visuals that I'm including. And at the end of the day, by optimizing for search, you're also making a better experience for the users by following some of the best practices when it comes to website creation. Speaking of website creation, if we haven't met, I'm Katherine Forbes, founder of Designing the Row, and I've designed, I think the number is 250. I've designed over 250 client websites at this point. I work a lot with Grammy-nominated award-winning artists, authors, and small businesses of all sizes. I also create and teach courses on brand identity and digital marketing that I teach at the college level as an adjunct. Ultimately, my mission is to empower others to build brands that reflect who they are and build an audience and achieve measurable results online. And I'm really so excited to be combining my website and my teaching passions together in this video series. And I'm really glad that you're here with me. So for our final step, step 3, we're going to be testing your website's SEO. Like I said in the beginning, I know SEO can be this daunting thing, but it doesn't have to be. I'm sure you've gotten the spam emails before that are people saying they could improve your SEO. People forward these to me all the time, like, what's wrong with my website? And the truth is nothing's wrong with your website. They're just trying to get you to buy something from them out of fear. At least that's my opinion anyways. So I'm going to show you how to run an SEO test on your website so you can see exactly what's happening, what it means, and how you can make improvements. And to do that, I'm going to do it on my own Designing the Row website. I actually recently made some changes to my own homepage, and I was using a built-in Squarespace tool called SEO Space. And now I want to go run it on this other tool that it's really my SEO checker go-to. So I'm going to go run the test over there. Again, it's the SEO ability site I mentioned earlier. And we're going to go through the results together. I'm going to make changes. We're going to test it again and see what happens. Here we are on the SEO ability results page for the SEO test of my Designing the Row website. And you can see my overall score over here is an 82. Now when this number changes, if you get something less than, I don't know what it is, but let's say it's an 80, it'll turn yellow, and if it's like 60, it'll turn red. So anything for me in the green, I'm pretty happy. But when I look at the list of things that I can improve, these are some really easy things that I can implement right now. So I figure let's do a few of them and I'll run the test again and we can see the score immediately go up. And then you can know that SEO doesn't have to be scary or this big daunting things. You can make little changes that make a big impact for your SEO. So if we look at the overview of this SEO check up here, you can see I'm getting 100% in 3 of the categories, which is great. So let's go look at the page quality, which is getting the lowest score right now, which would be right down here. And it will tell you in these yellow highlights exactly where your problems are. So the first thing is that words from the header 1 are not used in the page content. And this makes total sense because I just kind of refreshed my homepage and I changed my header 1 up here and didn't really think about or take the time to go put it into the rest of my content. So this test is saying you need to use your header 1 text in your content. So let's go do that. So professional Squarespace website design services is the header 1. Remember, we only have one header 1 on each page. So let's go sprinkle this in the content on the rest of this page. And I want to stress that we're not just going to stuff this everywhere so that we get it in there. We want it to be readable and make sense and not be annoying. Google is smart enough now to where it can tell if you're just stuffing your keyword in there, so we need to make it flow and make sense. So if we scroll down here, my first thought was like I could put it right here, what clients are saying. And then maybe I'll do this. I might actually, for design purposes, add a whole separate block and then do this. Say what clients are saying about our professional, what did I call it? Squarespace website design services. So that makes, to me, complete sense, and I actually am going to lowercase this since that first clients are saying part is lowercase. So what clients are saying about our professional website design services. And I'm going to center this like that.
And let me see. Maybe I'll pull these blocks down one. Okay, I don't want to spend too much time on design since I'm working on SEO, but I want it to look right because I'm going to save it publicly. You know, I want to bold it so it matches this top part, but bolding is also something that impacts your SEO score, whether you believe it or not. Let me see what this looks like. There we go. Okay, so we get Squarespace website design services there, bolded. It's not too many bolded words in a row, but we get that main Squarespace website design services bolded. Okay, let's save that one. Let's come down here. And I'm gonna add here, Squarespace website design. So this says, to ensure your Squarespace website design vision comes to life. So it's not the whole long tail keyword, but it's most of it. We'll see how they feel about that. And then let's see, so we've got one-ish mention here, one mention here, mention here. If we go back over here, you can see the next thing, it says that there's only 386 words on the page and that they want me to have more. Obviously I can't write a whole bunch right now, but maybe later, depending on when I do the retest, how it feels about this. Maybe I'll add another section so I can get it in there again. But for now, let's keep going. Okay, so now it's telling me that I have bolded designing the row too much. And I was doing that for design purposes. Like I bolded it and changed the color every time I mentioned it. I didn't do it there. I guess it's here too. Maybe I'll just unbold it in the footer. Maybe they only want it bolded once. Okay, that's picky. But you can see these little changes. Let's see if there's one mention of it bolded. Oh, I don't think that's bolded though. But I was trying to use that as another keyword. Obviously this is my home page and designing the rows is a business name. So let's leave that, see how that works out for us. And then the next one, still in here about the bold and strong tags, and it says some are too long. So with 103 characters, this one is longer than 70 characters. So they're telling us 70 characters is the longest they want you to have something bolded. Okay, so I need to shorten this part right here. Make it not all bold. So we'll unbold that. And unbold that. And let's come up here and do character counter. Okay, nope, that's not what I wanted to paste. Copy this. Oh. Okay, it won't let me see. Copy. Paste. Okay, so that's at 56 characters, so that should be a good to go there. Okay, this one is 11 alt images have no alt attribute, and I know this. It's these right here. And it's been that way for a long time, and I need to just re-upload them as a whole, but I haven't done that. And today is not the day either, but it's those images right there. And it's the way Squarespace sets up these galleries. It won't let me go in and add an alt tag on the image. It just lets me add a title. It won't let me add the alt tag like in here. So I need to do that, but I haven't. Let me show you actually while we're talking about alt tags. If you get that, what you need to do, I bet these don't have them either. These are technically images. If I come in here Here we go. Image alt tag. I can say Beth Ward channeling testimonial. Down here, add Snotterly testimonial. So this is how you add alt tags, at least in Squarespace. Okay, so we've got some alt tags added in. It says there are only a few social sharing widgets on the page. To me, I just ignored this one. Even if I use the Squarespace Instagram embed feature on here, it doesn't pick that up either. It wants you to actually use the direct from social media platform embeds on the page, and I personally just don't want that. So I'm happy to take a little ding there, because down here, if we keep going, down here under external factors, it says this website has excellent links. I get excellent links back, so I'm fine with trading that for my social media embeds. Okay, so that is the page quality section. If we keep going a little bit, the page structure, we've got 79% achieved here. So I've got my professional Squarespace website design services. It says my header one is perfect, but the structure of my headings is missing one or more levels. So if I come down here a little bit, you can see I have my header 1, some header 2s, and then header 4s. So I've skipped header 3 and it doesn't like that. So let's come in here and change something to a header 3. Let's try this one. Header 3, what clients are saying. There we go. Okay, now we have a header 3, because that's not really important text. This custom websites built with care, strategy, and collaboration is much more meaningful than what clients are saying. So what clients are saying doesn't need to be at the same level or hierarchy as this custom websites line up here. Okay, so we've got a header 3 added in there. Okay, link structure is 88%, so we're almost there. Some anchor text are used more than once. I always ignore this one too. If you come down here, you can see what it's talking about. It'll tell you what your links are. So here's my text duplicates. And basically it's my menu navigation that it's telling me is duplicated. And there's not really much I can do about that. I think maybe it's just the way that Squarespace is laid out. I don't know. But it's telling me that these are duplicated links. So I hear that. I see that. Maybe it's because I put them down here too. But I'm just gonna let that be, because I would rather have it user-friendly than make that 100%. Okay, this one says one links don't have an anchor text. Cart. My cart is turned off. So again, I think these are just maybe some Squarespace situations we've got going on. Okay, see, my cart is turned off. I do not have a cart, so there's nothing I can do about that. Moving along. That is all we've got. These two, or this external factors is already at 100% achieved. So now the moment of truth, make sure this is saved. Yes, we're saved. Let's click to another page just to make sure. Go back to home page. Scroll through here really quickly. Looks like all our changes were made. Okay, I'm also gonna actually test this to make sure it's not above 70 characters. Copy. Paste 65. Okay, we're in the clear. Okay, let's rerun this SEO test. You can see, so if you do want to use this tool, just be aware that you have 3 free checks each day. So you don't want to go crazy using this tool. Make sure you're using it intentionally so you don't run out of your 3 free tests. So let's analyze my website again. And there you go. We are now up to 89 in just a few minutes. I can't remember what that page quality was, but we got that way up. And 82 to 89 in just a few minutes. So I hope that goes to show you that SEO doesn't have to be scary and that you can make an impact with your score and just a little bit of intentional work on your website.
Okay, now that you've seen me run my own SEO test and make improvements, it's your turn. In the workbook, there is a space for you to write down all of the scores for each of the categories of your site. And then when you go make improvements, you can come back and compare. And over time, you can continue to come back and see how your site is ranking up against where it is today. And with that, let's do a really quick recap of what we talked about. So we talked about how to write your SEO site description. We've talked about how to optimize each page of your website. And we talked about running an SEO test on your own website. So I feel like now you are very capable of improving your site's SEO score all by yourself, and it doesn't have to be scary. You're ready to get more organic traffic. And when you get that organic traffic, the next step is to turn them into a loyal audience, which is perfect because the next video in the series is all about how to turn visitors into email subscribers. So subscribe, follow along, watch this next video. I will link it up for you here, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.